Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Trailblazers talk show, where today's Trailblazer is going to guide you through life. She's not just a renowned psychologist, but also a youth mentor. She is a life coach and an author and a very well known public speaker. Welcome to the show, Dr. Anumeha. How are you?
I'm very good, and thank you so much, Miss Nousheen, for inviting me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Anumeha is a mentor for young people. She enhances well being and consults with organizations as well towards the general well being and mental health. She is an award winning professional, and let's know more about her journey from her.
Okay, I come from a family of the educationists, and from five generations, somebody or the other has been into education from my family. So, based on this, I also decided to be a educator. My mom happens to be a psychologist. And when I was a child, I always saw people loving psychology, coming and asking suggestions for their lifelong issues. So I was like, what is there in this subject which enables you to give a solution to each and everybody? So you can say psychology just runs into my blood, my genes, and I've been grown and brought up with just psychology.
Lovely. Psychology is the science of the people and the
Yes,
mind.
yes.
So that makes you people's person technically.
Yes, you can say, because I cannot stay alone. I need people around. And I just love, or you will say, I am the happiest person when I'm surrounded with the people.
Amazing. We have this in common.
Thank you.
I'd like to know what was your major motivational force to launch Reignite Your Mind? It's a unique brand and it resonates with almost everyone.
So I have been a psychologist and a counselor for a long time. Then, some time back, I did my NLP and became a life coach. And then COVID struck. And during that time, I saw people suffer. The time went on. But after that, people went back to their lives, normal lives, I would say. But in reality, I saw people were functioning, but they were somewhere struggling. So even though they were successful outwardly, they were not thriving. And this was a major gap which I wanted to fill. I wanted to help them with emotional awareness. I wanted to make their life come back into the action, and it could only come when they were aware what they were doing. Now, these people were suffering. They wanted help and they didn't know how to approach for help. They wanted healing, but they don't know where to go. And just to bridge this gap, I got inspired for reigniting your minds that I want to create this platform. I wanted everyone to be aware about their emotions and then, affect the life in a positive manner.
That's a noble cause, affecting people's life in a positive way. And it's not an easy one, also, because everybody's life is different and everybody's life goals are different. And everybody's journey through life is also different. They come across various hurdles that are sometimes very unanticipated. While so many people decided to trust you with their story, of course, after the launch of Reignite Your Mind, and they brought forward their pains to you, how did you manage so many different personalities telling you different stories of their life? And how did you help them overcome their problems?
So, first of all, psychology deals with the human mind and the human behavior. So, throughout my journey, we had been surrounded with multiple personalities. If I say humans, yes, but unique personalities. And each of them were coming around with their unique abilities or disabilities. And this is where we thought that we need to bridge this gap. So, for that, being as a therapist, being as a counselor, the first thing was to listen to them with empathy. So,
Mm.
empathy was the first most important thing. And with that, we had to build trust. If there is trust and empathy, definitely our most important step is already being taken. So, initially, when people started coming, we had to make them aware that coming for help is not a weakness. It is something very important, something a very strength, like something which needs a strength to overcome. So slowly and slowly, people started realizing that every time they don't have to come to a counselor or a therapist or a coach just to work out on some issues, just to talk about their problem, just to share something to a neutral person, they can always approach and talk. Initially, when I came to Dubai, uh, I was born and brought up in India. Definitely, there are so many different religions, cultures, and everything. So, but when I came to this place, this is around 89 to 90% of the expats
Yeah.
of different nationalities, different cultures. And the way I knew people, I came to know them, their uh, different cultures, it was like an awakening point for me as well. It engrossed me, like I wanted to learn about them and I wanted to help them.
Right. You have come to Dubai during which year?
So I shifted in 2009,
2009. Okay. That makes 16 years
almost
down the
16
lane.
years.
16 years of trust. How
Yes.
did you manage to gain the trust of the people? Because when you came here, let me say it this way, when you were new to town, you were new to town. When
Right.
you launched Reignite Your Mind, you were again new to town with a new
Right.
identity and a new brand. So, how did you manage to gain the trust of the people? Because in psychology, when we go to a life coach or a psychologist, we are actually sharing very, very personal things.
Right.
And that's where I feel that a life coach must have the skills and the ability to manage trust.
Yes.
So, tell me about that.
So, first of all, building trust, you need to have trust on yourself. So, first of all, I had to trust myself that can I do this or not? When I knew I can, and the first question when clients are sitting in front of us, they say, this is very personal. And this is where we tell them, whatever you are sharing with us, it will never go out. We become like a sponge. Whatever you're sharing, it just absorbs. Now, we will guide you for whatever the issues you're going through, but it will never go out. So, this is where we establish that trust. So, initially, when we start the first or second session, it goes for the rapport building. Rapport building is the time when we understand that the person is coachable or not, or they are ready to be coached or not.
What is coachability?
So, coachability is that even though if I'm a coach, every person I cannot coach. Some are ready to accept that they need help. Some are ready to change. Some are ready to progress. Now, there are many people who want that change, but they're not ready to accept that change. In those cases, we as coaches are also unable. We are unable to coach them. This is where we have to identify. So if I don't say that I accept it that I have a problem, how will I go for any kind of a diagnosis?
Yeah.
So if I accept the problem, then only solution is possible. So many times we get people who are not ready to accept that there is a problem. Sometimes we work out with them and slowly they realize. Some do not. And these cases, we realize that these people are not coachable. Sometimes maybe my field of expertise might not be the best area. And at that time, we refer them to another coach who can be the best fit.
Right. What is empathy and why it is required for a life coach?
If I cannot empathize, like it's just not standing in somebody else's shoes, it's understanding their pain. Like during COVID time, I was a part of a CSR initiative from the company where I have done my NLP, and they started this program where we had to provide free of cost coaching. And at that time, I realized that there are so many people like me who are looking for help. The only thing is that I was the other side of the table, but they had not been lucky. There were so much of suffering. It can be the personal reasons, it can be the financial reasons. I remember one of the female, and she said, I was struggling because I have not taken any decision in my whole life. And this is where we started working.
So she did not take any decision in her entire life. Other people were deciding for her.
No, so this is where she thought that everybody is taking decisions for her.
Yeah.
Because when you are surrounded with the people, they say, we are doing it for you. We will decide. You have to ask. And slowly, it became like, a pattern for her behavior. It was also a kind of a limiting belief. So, first of all, we had to go and work it out on this limiting belief, that what were the reasons. It can be some past experiences. So, my first question to her was, who decided that you want to go to school?
Hmm.
She said, I decided. What were the subjects you wanted to study? Your parents decided, or you? And like, I decided. And slowly, the question started, where after a couple of sessions, she realized that actually she was the one who was taking all her decisions.
Hmm.
But based on the situations or the circumstances, she was made to believe that everybody else is taking the decisions for her because she was dependent on other people.
Right. Was she really depending on other people, or was it her perception
It
that
was
was
her
playing?
perception, it was her mindset. So we had to work out on the mindset.
Hmm.
So this is what we say, there is a fixed mindset from where we had to work it out and then come to the present mindset where she started believing in herself. So when she came to me, it was just an empathy. Yes, I will help you. But slowly, I realized that this female really needs help. And then only the whole thing happened. It was a learning experience for myself as well, because I have always seen very strong females. But this time I saw somebody who was very strong, but was not able to accept that she was strong.
Right. What are self limiting beliefs?
Self limiting beliefs can be some kind of a beliefs where we try to stop ourselves in certain thought process. So, for example, I want to be successful.
Right.
Now, there can be some past experiences, some past patterns which made us believe that maybe we are not able to. So, for example, I'll say, I am not able to be successful in my organization because people do not like me. They hate me, right? Now, we will try to challenge, then we will try to talk to them, explore different types of experiences what they had. Then we'll try to, once we are confirmed or we find the accuracy, we will try to give them a new um, belief, so that once we are aligned with the new belief, we'll empower them and align them that now this is not happening. So for example, somebody says, I'm not able to become successful in my organization because people do not like me. So possibility is that in the past times, in the past offices, somebody might have done something to her.
Hmm.
Then slowly we move ahead. And then we started talking on the conversation, what she's having in his organization, the organization cultures, rapport building, and then what are the different types of opportunities she is working on. Is she really taking them positively or not?
Hmm.
So, is it the same scenario, what had happened in the past, or is it just a limiting belief? Once we try to get them the new belief, we try to reframe the whole belief
Okay.
and then align it with the new thought process.
Right. Right. Very interesting. I'm thinking our belief system comes from the time we are born.
Right.
And when our parents start raising us, and then we go out, we socialize in the schools, we socialize in our university colleges, then we go to work and socialize. So our beliefs are constantly evolving, they cannot remain the same. But what we learned in the beginning could be at the basis of what we believe, like we hold onto it very steadfastly.
Right.
But then they start transforming as we go out into wider social circles. So, in your views, which of our circles have the most powerful stronghold on our beliefs?
Okay, so when we talk about the personalities, we say that there is a contribution of the genetics or the childhood upbringing, families, then the environment in which we have been raised and grown up, and the situational factors. Now, in psychology, there are certain developmental stages.
Mhm.
So, for example, if you have seen, there is a small child. Now, nobody teaches a child that if you're hungry, you need to cry.
Yeah.
The child slowly learns that if I'm crying, people will give me milk, people will change my diaper. And slowly, when their needs start meeting up, they develop this belief that this is how I'm supposed to do. When they slowly grow up, there is something called trust and mistrust. So, when you start teaching a toddler to walk,
Hmm.
they will hold something or your finger and they will walk. All of a sudden, if they slip, they will not get ready to stand up again. And this is where the trust and mistrust is forming or shaping in a new way. So, since we are growing up, these childhood periods are very, very important. Uh, Role modeling is also very much there, because when a child is growing up, they look up to the role models they have in their lives.
Hmm. So you're trying to tell me that the initial belief system that comes from the immediate family when we are in infancy
Yes.
are the strongest belief system that we are receiving in our life,
Yes.
and the ones that come through the social circles as at a more mature stage are less strong.
No, they are not less strong, but basically they teaches us how to deal with the situations.
Okay.
So our personality is a contribution of 50-50%.
Okay.
That's how genetics made.
Mhm.
And that's how the environment will shape up into. Like,
Right.
for example, I was born and I grew up into an educational family.
Mhm.
I always thought that I will work as an educator in a school or a college. And this is how I came to Dubai.
Hmm.
When I came to Dubai, then I got introduced to coaching. Then I started life coaching.
Mhm.
Then I saw that over there are so many people who need help. And with a combination of psychology and coaching, you can help and provide them support.
Hmm.
So this was a new shift which came into my personality, which I have never thought.
Okay.
But the only thing what continued with me was the trust.
Hmm.
That yes, I have this trust in me and I can go. Like, if, for example, if you talk to my family, they still believe in the job system, proper service. I'm the first one who became like having my own work, independent.
Hmm.
So if you talk to them, they're like, yeah, she's doing something very nice. We know that. So this is how my childhood, my concepts from my birth gave me the concept that yes, I am ready to do something new and I will be accepted and motivated and supported by my family. When I got married, my husband was there and he said, you do whatever you like and I'm there with you. And then I started like looking around for the opportunities. I started exploring
Hmm.
around. There were some challenges which I faced, but I did not stumble.
Right.
I took them as a stepping stone, because I was taught as a child that every time you stumble down, you have to get back and stand up. So everything combined lately, contributes to your personality, to your life, to your everything in you too. Your family, your present family, your friends, your working environment, and your situations, of course.
True, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing it. Um, some people say that it's your mindset that reshapes your destiny.
Well, I will say that yes.
Mhm. So, how do we cultivate that mindset which will actually make us change our own destiny and maybe be very successful, very different human beings?
It's a very good question. First of all, we have to keep ourselves open to new experiences.
Mhm.
I have seen many people who have a very fixed mindset. They're like, we have done our undergraduation, we have done our post graduation, and we have learned enough, and there's nothing left to learn. So this is where the things comes. If you need to progress, now progress is not always measured in the terms of the promotions and the salary hikes. The progress is always measured how much you are improving in your life. Like for me, my competition is only from myself. Am I a better person from the day previous? Did I learn something of what I never knew? So if you start observing, if you start learning, if you don't run behind the perfection, but you just run behind the progress, take challenges as the stepping stone, learn from every failure, not like, become disheartened from anything. Oh, what will I do? God is not supporting me. People are not supporting me. It's perfectly fine. Maybe there is a way you have not learned. So maybe if you say that God is giving you this opportunity, learn it. If you say you are getting this opportunity, learn from this missed opportunity how to cultivate into a future success.
Great. Progressive people have a learning mindset and they
Yes.
do not have a fixed mindset. This is
Yes.
one tool that we can use to be successful in life.
Right.
When you're new in a city, you build confidence in yourself, you build trust among people, you have a positive mindset. So these are three tools. What other tools do you recommend to expats so that they can have a healthy life, both physically and mentally?
Okay. So it's a very good question because I was an expat, and when I came, we just came with the suitcases and a new life, and we built up a new beautiful life over here. One very important thing what you have to do is you have to keep yourself open to experience. We come with a very rigid thought process. If people are like this, they're like this. If people are like that, they're like that. Now we have to be tell ourselves that each and everyone is coming from a very different cultures. There are some inclusive cultures, there are not some inclusive cultures, and people are not wrong. Their situations might be wrong. You have to openly accept what you are doing. So initially I saw some people struggling, like, it's a very different place, it's a very fast place. I'm like, what's wrong? You have to learn when to speed up and you have to learn when to slow down. So every time you learn something, you have to see, are you really one step ahead from the future or from your past or not?
Very interesting. How do we manage diversity? Like we have more than 200 nationalities living in Dubai, and it's not easy. Like everybody you said is from a different culture, with different circumstances, with different goals, with different aspirations.
First of all, I would say respecting. Respect, mutual respect is very, very important. What do we think is this is right for me, it should be right for the other person. uh, every person has a very different thought process. Like, for example, right now we are two people sitting, we are two individual personalities sitting. So this is where we come together, we sit and we embrace everybody's culture together. We have to give them respect. We have to give them space. And I'm not talking about just the physical space. We have to give them that emotional space, social space, psychological space where everyone can fit in with you. And you also need to respect and learn to fit in with them. When there is mutual respect, then only people can come together and they can collaborate. And this is the first step towards trust building.
Thank you. It's lovely. As an entrepreneur, okay, as an educator, you spent most of the years in your life and you carried on with teaching people. But as an entrepreneur, this was something very new for you. And like you said, that your family is more towards living their life through jobs. They do not understand entrepreneurship. How did you rewire your mind to become a successful entrepreneur?
Okay. So I come from a family where education is very, very important. And you will find like dozens of professors, doctors, engineers, scientists. And I also started my journey like that. But at one particular point of time, I decided this is where I don't want to stop myself. There is so much in life and there is so much to learn that I need to explore. Uh, you will not believe that every time I do a course, I feel like, there is something else I have to work it out. So every time I learn to love to explore new opportunities, not in terms of just the business, but also onto acquiring new skill sets. Because right now, if you see the way world is progressing, everything is progressing.
Yes.
And we just don't have to stick to certain things. Every day we have to develop something new as a skill. And this is what makes us different from a robot, that as a human, we want to grow and develop. So when I started working as an entrepreneur, initially life was not easy because I was not aware how things go, and I used to wonder how do these things happen. Uh, but I had been very lucky. The moment I started thinking, or you say positive manifestation, I started meeting people who were into this business. And I was surrounded with some beautiful, amazing people like you. And I started getting some lovely opportunities to learn, to grow, to progress. And slowly, I started observing them. I learned. I have never hesitated to ask questions. This is one very important thing. When you want to grow, when you want to learn something, never hesitate to ask questions. Never hesitate to ask for your support. So this is something which keeps you going, and this is how I'm still learning. Every day is a new day. Uh, Another thing, what I realize is when you think too much, it becomes overthinking.
Very true.
So this is where, like, it's like a speeding car that you are just rushing at 140 speed and you don't know where you are going. So you have the brakes.
Honestly, overthinking works as a deterrent. I used to be an overthinker, but I changed through many experiences and let me say a few circumstances. Honestly, people who overthink can overcome this problem. I call it a problem because it is one, just by changing their company, the people who surround them, and by understanding that this is something like the incident of overthinking, the habit of overthinking is something that you need to address. So I agree with you, overthinking can be such a disaster.
You need to just what I say, just pull the brakes,
Yeah.
stop, and then take a U turn.
Right, right. Very practical. Um, Going back to two questions that come from your entire experience sharing with me as an entrepreneur. Number one, you said that you had to pull your brakes to stop overthinking because overthinking was stopping you.
Yes.
Did overthinking come in the way of trying new things?
Yes, I will not deny that.
Mhm.
Because when I started, I had my own fears.
Hmm.
And these fears became my limiting belief.
And what are those fears?
Should I do this? Should I not do this?
Uncertainty.
Yes. Can I trust the people? Can I not trust the people?
Mm.
And initially, first time when I went, I just observed.
Mhm.
Then I said, okay, let me go and let me see how things work out. And I am a communicator. I love talking. But at that time, I was very quiet. I took my time to observe, understand the situation. And this is what I learned from my experience, that every time you don't have to act or react.
Yes.
You have to think. First of all, for that, you have to be aware about your emotions. And this is where your emotional intelligence comes.
What is emotional intelligence?
So, if we talk about emotional intelligence in simple words, it will be like the ability to perceive your own emotions and understand them. Uh, but for me, if I simply say, this is about your emotional awareness.
Right.
Do you know what type of emotion currently you are feeling? If you're aware about your emotions, then only you can regulate your emotions.
Right.
So, if you regulate your emotions, then you will act in a very different way. For example, uh, I'm getting very annoyed at somebody. Like, I get many cases where people say there is a fight that's happening. It can be fight between the friends, or it can be the fight between the couples. What very silly topic. What happened? You know, this happened. Like, maybe if you would have decided to just take a pause and think, Is it the right reaction? Maybe things might have been changed.
Hmm.
So my principle in life changed, that if something is happening, I will not act impulsively.
Yeah.
I will stop, I will pause, then I will see what type of emotion I am going, and then I will see how I am going to react to it and how is it going to impact the other people.
Yes.
So
So
it's a complete game changer.
so it's a muscle that you need to exercise in order to
Yes.
grow.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen like all of a sudden. Like, for
Mhm.
example, we say IQ is something we are born with. EQ, it's perfectly fine. The moment you realize that you need it, you can work it on, as you said, and we can develop it as a muscle. But you
Hmm.
really need to work it out. And it's very important and very, very fruitful.
It is. Yes. It helps you understand people better.
Yes. Nowadays, when people come for professional and personal life issues, they say, like, my boss is not right. My boss is not working or helping or supporting me. Most of the times, it's like, the leaders with low emotional intelligence.
Hmm.
And at that time, for example, I'll give you an example, like somebody came and I want to quit my job. Can you tell me? Like, I am not some forecast reader or something. I can tell you. You tell me, what are the situations you're facing? And the person said, like, I'm really scared of talking to my boss. And if I say something, or if the project is not completed when I go and talk, he starts screaming at us. Now, it was definitely a case of low emotional intelligence leader. And with this, what happens is, like, in an organization, trust and conflict are the two sides of any coin. So,
Hmm.
more the trust on the leader, less the conflict, more the conflict, and less the trust. So, this person was really scared to talk to the leader. And eventually, the person decided to quit his job.
It's a loss on
It's
the
a
part of
loss.
the leader, of course. Right. The stress levels these days among young workers, let me say millennials, no, everybody, not just the millennials, everybody is experiencing very intense stress. The need to perform more, the need to adjust more, the need to make more things possible in limited time. And then there are so many distractions around us which are pressurizing us in so many ways, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you recommend? What strategy can we in modern workplace use to manage stress?
Okay. Well, stress situations comes when we have the resources. Resources are less, and we have more to produce. It is also related to a situation of comfort and discomfort.
Mhm.
So maybe in today's time, we might not be physically overcrowded, but if I say we might be emotionally overcrowded, overcrowded with too much of the information, overcrowded with so much of the social media, and there is a pressure to perform everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, for example, WhatsApp. And in one of the classes, I was discussing with my students, they're like, how do you manage the WhatsApp? Because if I'm not responding to all my messages, people get annoyed. So there is a time frame, there's a WhatsApp message, you have to immediately read it, then respond to it. Now, if you're working, how can you read a message? How can you respond to it? All these
Mm.
things comes from a time management. So all
Right.
these things are interlinked. So, for example, for me, I have very clear things that I only receive messages and go through them when I'm free. If there is something very urgent, I will immediately respond. But if I feel that I it is not too important, maybe I can wait, maybe I will respond to it later on. So this is where we have to understand how we are working towards stress management. Then there are some very small techniques where we can work it out. So because most of the times whenever there is a situation, either we are in the fight mode, flight mode, or the freeze mode.
Okay.
So we think that either we should fight, we should flight, or freeze. I say, take a deep breath and think, is
Mm.
this situation, ideal situation, for me to respond right now?
Take your time to respond.
Yeah, take your time to respond. And there's a very nice activity like what I do basically. It's a 111 pause activity. So it just takes 20 seconds. So for that you just sit quietly, and then you can do it with your open eyes or closed eyes, and take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Then identify the emotion or feeling you are going through now. Then think about what are you going to achieve from it. It's a 20-second activity, but immediately it changes the state of your mind.
Hmm.
From the chaos, you comes to the calmness.
Hmm.
Your nervous system gets grounded. You come into awareness, and then you can regulate your emotions.
Short span of time, very good results.
Yes.
When it comes to managing youth, you have been a youth mentor for quite a number of years. What are some of the major areas you observe where young people have to focus for their self development?
Most of the time, they have to work on the progress. Now, this progress does not only come in terms of the education, it's like, developing your life skills.
What are life skills?
Life skills is one very important thing is communication. Students, they or the youth, they have to develop the communication levels where they have to learn to be a very good observer plus a speaker, depending upon the situations, whatever the career or they want to do in the future. Now, many people say, oh, I can only speak. But trust me, listening skills are also very, very important. And listening skills are one of the most important skills with the speaking skills, which makes a person from a common person to a leader. Then have a small goals. So, like what happens, we just want to achieve that. It's perfectly fine. But what are the small goals you want to have? So, working on the SMART goals are very, very important for them. Step by step, keep on identifying that are you able to achieve your goals or not? Or is there any kind of a change, or you want to work it out or make any modification, is also work it out. Then, most of the time, like this generation, they fear a lot of judgment. There's a lot of peer pressure, right? So, yeah, this is one thing that as adults we have to keep in mind, that every time, whenever any youth is coming to us, we don't have to judge for each and everything they do. We just have to be there with them. We just have to inspire them. We just have to motivate them and support them and let them experience.
Yes, very true. There is there's so much of generational gap these days. So much of it. Parents are thinking in a different way. The teenagers are thinking quite differently. The Gen Z, which is smaller than that, is thinking much differently. So, how can we now manage this gender gap, which is widening with passage of time day by day?
So, just generational gap has always been there. Like if you see our grandparents and us, we were very different. For them, things were very different for whatever we are doing. So this has always existed. Now, this has actually widened now too much because the information is overloaded. For them, the information is on the tips. Everything is on their tips. And the access to this internet has, maybe I can say it has been a blessing also, but too much of the internet or too much of the social media is becoming a pressure for them also.
How we can bridge the gap?
So we can bridge the gap by just being their support system. I remember like when my elder son, who's now 20 years, was like, you don't understand. So I was like, yes, I agree. And at that time, I was not a psychologist, I was just a mother. And I was just trying to be like, the best mother. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. And when my son said, I was like, yes, I think I'm just running too much behind perfection. I'm just trying to protect him. Why should I protect him? I had my own experiences in my life which made me the person I am. Why am I restricting my son to go through those experiences? And I believe your experiences make you the person who you are.
Yes.
So I told him that yes, nobody taught me about parenting. I am a 20-year-old parent today. So every year you grew, with that, I grew up as a parent.
Mm.
Sometimes you stumble, sometimes I stumble. And with this only, we have been together. And this is what I want to request all the parents, that just be there with them in their journey. Don't try to stop them, don't try to control them, just be there around them. The moment you feel they need you, just provide them that help and support.
Mm.
But learn that, let them learn through their experiences, let them adventure, let
Mm.
them grow.
Mm. Thank you. Like you said, that there is so much going on around us, and there is so much of engagement that has to go from our side towards social media, and then our social life, and then our work life. Do you think we can balance all of it, and how?
Well, if I say right now, there is so much emotional discomfort happening because there's so much happening. So our bandwidth is actually getting cramped. And this is where we have to identify ourselves, that we have to come out of the self doubts. We have to see that how we can use this information in the right manner. Everything has the good things and the bad things.
Mm.
Most of the time, we criticize and focus on the negativity. Like, for example, nowadays we are talking about the chat GPT. Chat GPT is really bad. Now, how we are using it is also very different. Are you using it as your assistant, or are you just using it for each and everything? So, this is what I want to understand and make people also understand, that if you divide things into small, small compartments
Mm.
and then give them their space, give them their timings, and draw the boundaries,
Mm.
things will never go out of the hand.
Mm.
This is navigating your way. So, for example, when we are driving in traffic and we know that there is very limited space, but we have to reach home, how do we navigate? Slowly and slowly, being focused. So, this is what exactly we need to know, understand our boundaries, work for our emotions, work for our beliefs, and slowly keep on stepping ahead.
What is happening to the relationships these days? Do you think that we are more deeply rooted into forming quality relationships now than we ever were before?
Well, human being is always a social animal, and we can't live without human connections. And this is the most important thing that differentiates us from a robot. A relationship, I will say, is a very personal outlook. Some say that, okay, somebody is doing bad, you should disconnect. So years back, 2009, when I shifted to Dubai, I made a very dear friend. And I was just analyzing, because it was a very different place, and relationship are little short-lived because people come over here on work contracts. And once the work contract finishes, they go. And things are not in their hand.
Mm.
So I was just thinking that, if we are making the friends, I made my friend, and now my friend is leaving, how will I survive? New friends, how do I trust? Are they fine to be trusted? And that's what my friend said. When you make you new friends, you have to accept them with their flaws as well. And that was my learning, that when you move to a new place, when you move to a new life, when you go to new relationships, you have to accept everything with their flaws. What we do is we try to change them to
Mm.
suit ourselves. You don't do this because I don't like it. But possibly, did I try to ask myself that maybe the person also is not liking something about me? So, relationships are like the two wheels of a cycle. Little bit one side more air, little bit less side, it becomes little bit restless. So this is where we have to work really well on the relationships. And yes, there is mutual understanding which goes. There is help. If I am helping, if they are not helping, it's perfectly fine, because it's not always that maybe they don't want to help. Maybe their circumstances are not allowing them to help me. So if we just give a benefit of doubt to people, we just accept them with their flaws and everything as a combined package, I think relationship nowadays will be better.
Right. What is one advice you would like to give to the youth?
Okay, nowadays I understand that life is not easy and there is so much of the peer pressure. So, one very important advice is that whenever you feel that you are in a self doubt, don't stop yourself, because self doubt is basically a situation when you are progressing. You will only self doubt when you have worked on something and things are either not going in your favor or not too much in your favor. That means you are doing something. So continue. But if you feel that something is not going right, never hesitate to ask for help. It can be your mentors, it can be your coaches, it can be a counselor. Asking for help is not a sign of a weakness. What I normally say, that when somebody asks for help and support, it's a way only a strong person can do. So if somebody is asking for help, give them a helping hand. If you want help, uh, come and ask for help, and just keep on navigating your way. Just don't hear the noises around, because there are so many noises. Just learn to focus, and that only comes by your emotional awareness. And once you know about your emotions, you can easily regulate them. And once you can regulate, then only you can influence, which finally affects your emotional well being, leading to your overall well being. It's like a
Amazing.
chain reaction.
Yes, it's like a chain reaction. Thank you so much for today. I truly enjoyed our conversation, and I will keep this in mind that it is a chain reaction. Our emotional well being is not a standalone act.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.